Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. We finally have an estimate of the destruction caused by the Russian strikes in the past 2 days. Strikes that were aimed at destroying the Ukrainian infrastructure and as a retaliation for the Ukrainian attack on Crimean Bridge or Kerch Bridge, that the Russians conducted an investigation and concluded that it was the Ukrainians who did it. More precisely, the security services planned, perpetrated, and profited out of it. So we have this article from Ukrainska Pravda. So this is a Ukrainian media outlet from October 11th, 2022. This is the title. Russia blew up about a third of Ukraine's energy infrastructure in 2 days. Well, imagine if the Russians would have done this in the first 2 days. They were capable of doing it. They just held back. Why do you think? Why do you think they held back when they could have done this, probably, as I said, early in the operation? At that time, the Ukrainians did not have the capability to hit back much. If you remember, they were just retreating and losing ground each and every day. They didn't have much of the supplied weapons that were afterwards supplied by the NATO, by United States. So NATO was not at least, how should I put it, legally involved. Not legally, but we knew that they were involved. There was no doubt they were. When they said when the Americans delivered some HIMARS to the Ukrainians, I think the Ukrainians already had HIMARS. I think the Ukrainians had everything they needed before the Russians started their operation. The Ukraine had from 2014 until 2022 to get ready, and they got ready. So I do not think that those 18 or 16 HIMARS that were delivered, I don't know, starting in May, I think, or something like that, they were the only ones. I think the Ukrainians already had what they had. So nevertheless, the Russians did not do what they do now. Not that because they couldn't, but it's something else. I think this was a controlled war, and I think the Russians again were duped. I don't think they were not serious. They didn't take seriously what United States really wants to achieve with Ukraine, because it's, after all, it's Ukraine is just a fighting ground. The fighters, one is far away, hiding behind Ukraine, and the other one is right in front of the front line, fighting, and that's Russia. So this article says that around 30% of energy infrastructure in Ukraine had been hit by Russian missiles since Monday, October 10th. Ukraine Energy Minister Herman Halushenko said Tuesday in an interview with CNN. According to the minister, for the first time since the beginning of the war, Russia has dramatically targeted the energy infrastructure. He said that one of the reasons is that the export of Ukrainian electricity to Europe helps European countries save on Russian gas and coal. Isn't this an idiot? I think. Or an idiot or a weasel. That's not why they did it. They could have done it in February 25th, early in the morning. So no, it's not that. You just make this connection for weasels like you. They would bite that and say, yeah, I think that's what it is. It's not that. It's not that. It's because you guys crossed a red line. Your boss helped you do something that it was a no-no. And the Russians told you. And you did it. Well, that's great. This is why. Don't tell me it's because Biden is shuffling through the White House's basement alone in those 5 minutes when he's aware of what's going on in his life. It's not because of that. So he added that Ukraine is trying to quickly restore supplies from other sources. Basically, help us because otherwise you're not going to have electricity west or something. We are the defenders of the West. This is how the story goes. Answering a question about whether Ukraine will receive additional energy from Europe, Halushchenko said that this is one of the options under consideration. Always begging and shaming if you don't provide him with what he demands. The minister noted that Ukraine's energy system is all stable, but called on partners, there's no partners, there's masters, and you are the servants, vassals, to provide air defense systems that could really help us protect our infrastructure. We are sending the following message to our partners. We need to protect the sky. Russians are playing some games with international laws. They don't care about any kind of international agreements or conventions. I don't know about you guys, but I tell you that when I was a boy and I was a teenage, almost young adult, because when I got that age, I started doing other things, and people like this would have got smacked, okay? Smacked by everybody else. These were the people who in the classroom or in the schoolyard or in the neighborhood would play alone with their own toys. They would not share with anybody, and nobody would play with them. Why? Because they were as they are. I remember that when we had this kind of people, I remember a specific person. He was not good at football, soccer, however you call it. And we were playing soccer all day long. So this guy always had a ball because nobody was playing with him, because he played with the ball like a 2-year-old, like rolling it like a toddler. And we played, but we didn't have balls because we're breaking the ball, we're blowing up the balls all the time. And remember, that was communist Romania, so there was scarcity. But this mofo had a ball always. Why? Because he was not playing with it. He was just rolling it around. So then we had to fool this idiot and, sweet talk him to play with us. Hey, are you going to play with us? We wanted his ball, not that ball, the ball that he always had, and we didn't. So we got him in a team, and he was not a good player, but not a very bad one. Let's say a 3 out of 10, okay, which is, Anyway, so he was playing, and then he started becoming mouthy and started thinking that he's really important in the team, but he was not. And we were playing until one point when one of us, the guys who were playing soccer, not the weasel, had enough. And we would fucking get his ball, kick it to the neighbor's yard, smack him over his head, kick his butt, and get the fuck out of here. I know, that's ugly. But this is the way we treated these kind of people. Not me only. Yes, I did that. Not only me. Many other people. That was the culture over there. It was a weasel. And guess what? We would not see this guy for some months again. And then again, we ran out of balls. And we're gonna see the weasel with the same ball or a new one, if that one was not broken or blown up by us. And then again, sweet talk, and here we go again. And again, the guy started thinking that he is somebody, and he was not. And then again, we lost our patient, and again, he got it. Now, call it however you want. This guy here, Haluchenko, Herman, which is not a Ukrainian name, just so you know, he was telling us that actually, it's we're gonna be okay, and the Russians are just destroying it, and we are the defender of Europe and our partners and all that. Hey Herman, do you have a ball? You wanna play soccer with us for about, I don't know, an hour and a half, and then we get sick of it, and then we smack you and break your ball? I guess not. All right. Well, with good things and bad things, I think we all did, but we were kids. I'm not saying, I still stand by that. I'm pretty sure I would do the same thing if I would be in the same circumstance as a kid. The same way. Call me however you want. But if you're gonna be that weasel, that's what you're gonna get from Emil. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.